National People's Power Party, led by President Anura Kumara Dissanayake, is all set for a sweeping victory in the parliamentary election. As of 6:30 a.m. local time, with partial results declared, the NPP has secured a substantial 60% of the vote. The main opposition, SJB party, and the National Democratic Front, NDF, backed by former President Ranil Wickremesinghe, have been reduced to just 19% and 5% of the vote each. In the only polling division result announced so far, the NPP won decisively in the southern province capital of Galle with over 70% of the vote. Experts say that NPP has increased its vote share compared to the September presidential elections. Now, if this trend continues, the party will surpass the 150-seat mark, achieving an absolute majority in the 225-member parliament. Thursday's election was the first major test for NPP.
Lanka ඉතාමත් තීරණාත්මක හැරවුම් ලක්ෂයක් පෙන්නුම් කරන මැතිවරණයක්. මේ මැතිවරණයේදී ජාතික ජනබලය ඉතාමත් ශක්තිමත් පාර්ලිමේන්තුවක් සඳහා ජනවරම අපේක්ෂා කරනවා. මේ ජනවරම ජනතාව විසින් අපට ලබා දෙන බව අපිට විශ්වාසයක් තිබෙනවා.
Now, these elections will determine whether or not the island nation wants to further empower its new president, Anura Kumara Dissanayake. Now, AKD took power in the September presidential elections on a promise to combat graft and recover the country's stolen assets. And that is 2 years after an unprecedented economic meltdown when the then president, Gotabaya Rajapaksa, was ousted. Dissanayake needs a majority in parliament to be able to push through the crucial economic reforms, including the budget. And well, for more on this, our correspondent Dasuni Athoda is joining us live from Colombo. A very good morning to you, Dasuni. Early results show that the Sri Lankan President Anura Kumara Dissanayake's National People's Party has taken a decisive lead, and it looks like that the Sri Lankans, they have made the NPP pass the litmus test. As of now, the NPP party is at 60% of vote share compared to around 14 to 15% for SJB. Tell us more.
Absolutely. The people of Sri Lanka who went to the polls yesterday have certainly decided that it is high time to give President Anura Dissanayake a government that supports his visions and promises, which is why, as of right now, in terms of the results released so far, the NPP, that is the party led by President Anura Dissanayake, leads with a voter share of 61.60%, which also translates to 44 secured seats. In comparison, in terms of the opposition, the Samagi Janabalawegaya has only received 18.99% of the total vote share so far, which only translates to 11 seats. So that itself is a huge disparity between the opposition and the government.
Right, Dasuni, so 34 seats for NPP and around 11 for the main opposition. Let's also talk about how the NPP has increased its vote share compared to the September presidential elections. Back then, AKD secured 42% of votes, but we can clearly see that the NPP party has performed well when compared to the presidential elections in the general elections in Sri Lanka.
Absolutely. This again is a twofold approach. One being that the people who did not vote for him in the presidential election are more inclined towards voting for him, especially given the fact a lot of these people are of the view that they do need change. And in order for President Dissanayake to sort of go ahead with his plans for change, he surely does need a government or a house that will support him. The other theory is that the low turnout from yesterday was purely because those who did not vote for Anura Dissanayake, those who were in favor of other candidates such as Stadit Premadasa or even Ranil Wickremesinghe during the presidential campaign did actually not turn up to vote purely due to voter dissatisfaction and voter fatigue. Also, Resha, something that is so historical in this election is that for the first time in Sri Lanka's election history, the people of the north, the people in Jaffna, voted in favor of a party of the south, where the National People's Power emerged even more victorious than the Tamil parties, which is quite historical.
Radha Asuni, thank you for joining us on the show. We'll, of course, be tracking the results as the numbers trickle in. And as of now, the NPP has secured 60% of vote. Meanwhile, the main opposition, the SJP, is at 18%. But thank you for joining us with your insights.